Hi everyone, I'm Travis with Wake Responsibly, and I'm here today to take you through some of the best practices, rules, and regulations that will help you to be prepared and safe on the water while ultimately maximizing your fun. Here at Wake Responsibly, we hold the 3 core pillars of boating at the heart of our message. They include always operating your boat at least 200 feet away from shorelines and docks while steering clear of park boats and smaller watercraft, minimizing repetitive passes, and respecting your surroundings by playing music at reasonable levels while being considerate of the time of day and others around you. Keeping those 3 pillars in mind, come with me as we take a look at a typical family that's heading out on the water for the day. Welcome to my home. Any trouble finding the place? You know, one thing a lot of people don't realize is that getting ready for a big day on the water actually starts at home. Trust me, you don't want to be backing your boat into the water and realize you forgot your keys or life jackets in the house. If you're the captain, this is your baby, and it's your responsibility to go over everything and make sure nothing's forgotten. One easy way to do that is to have one of these bad boys. This is my handy dandy checklist. I found mine online from the WSIA's Towed Water Sports Boating Handbook, but you can always find your own or add on to a pre-existing one. It contains items like ensuring the boat has power, checking that navigation lights and gauges are working, registration is shown properly, the trailer, lights, tires, and winch are all in good shape. Also, you need a fire extinguisher, whistle, as well as an anchor and line, just to name a few. Thanks, guys. You definitely want to make sure you have enough Coast Guard approved life jackets for everyone riding in the boat. You want to verify that they're Type 3, or as they're called now, Level 70 life jackets are used for anyone skiing or surfing behind the boat. But we'll talk more about that later. Another important thing to think of when spending all day on the water is food and drinks. You want to be sure to have food and plenty of waters so everyone stays hydrated. When it comes to alcoholic beverages, the rules on the water should be the same as driving a car. As the captain, you're in command of a large motorized vehicle, and it should be given the same amount of respect. If driving, you should be the sober skipper and refrain from the consumption of alcohol. A BUI would definitely put a quick stop to any fun being had on the water. It's also a great idea to have one of these as well. Whether it's your family or someone else in distress, having a fully stocked first aid kit could be the difference in some cases between life and death. You want to keep in mind, the more prepped the boat is before getting to the ramp, the quicker and smoother the launch process will be. Well, boat's loaded up, trailer secure. I think that's everything. You ready to rock and roll? Oh, the family. My sweet little angels, you guys ready to load up? When pulling into the boat ramp, you want to survey the area and be sure to have a clear idea of how and where you'll need to position your vehicle and boat to create the easiest line when reversing into the water. If it's busy and you have to wait your turn, take advantage of this time to put the final touches on the boat for launching, such as adding dock lines to the cleats or double checking the plugs are in. Once you've moved into the final position, have the driver get in the seat and slowly back the trailer into the water until it's 3/4 submerged. The boat can be turned on at this point. Put the car in park with the parking brake engaged, unlock the winch, and back down the hand crank until there's enough slack to unhook from the boat. Inform the boat driver they are free and clear and back off the trailer and pull over to the dock to tie off. Once the boat is clear from the trailer, you can pull it out of the water and park, being sure to grab any final items or people to load up before heading out.
Okay, life jacket's on, let's go.
For towed water sports, the U.S. Coast Guard requires the use of Type 3, or as they're called now, Level 70 life jackets. You want to be sure to try your life jacket on prior to being out on the water to make sure they fit properly. They should fit comfortably around the chest and ribs and be snug but not overly tight when zipped and clipped. Arms should feel comfortable when hanging down by the side. A great way to test this is by giving a small tug on the shoulder straps. A properly fitting life jacket should not come up to touch the chin or ears. Make sure you check the label to ensure it's the most recent U.S. Coast Guard approved life jacket for towed water sports. As a parent and a captain, it's great to prioritize making sure the kids have their life jackets on and that they fit properly. It's also just as important to make sure every adult on board has their own properly fitting life jacket as well, especially if they plan on taking part in water sports such as wakeboarding, surfing, or tubing. This law, along with ensuring to wear your ECOS lanyard at all times while operating the boat, is in place for everyone's safety, no matter how comfortable you may feel on or behind a boat. Also, a great rule of thumb is to text a friend or family member who is not going with you on the boat and telling them you and the number of people you are with are heading out on the water for the day. Be sure to let them know your location, float plan, and that you will text again when you are safely back.
Although we're pretty good on fuel, I just want to get it topped off to make sure we're all set.
Whether filling up yourself at home or at a marina, you want to make sure you're using the correct octane when filling up. Be sure to check with your boat manufacturer for specifics. When entering a marina or docking area, be sure to slow down to idle speed, pick your spot, and prepare your boat with lines and bumpers on the correct side before moving into your spot. This will ensure a quick and smooth tie-up process. When leaving, be sure to stow any lines or bumpers and wait until safely out of the marina and past any docked or anchored boats before accelerating.
This looks like a great spot.
As the captain, it's my responsibility to place the boat and the riders in as safe of an environment as possible. This is also another opportunity to make sure we're following our 3 core pillars, that we're operating the boat at least 200 feet away from shore while steering clear of parked boats and smaller watercraft, that we will minimize repetitive passes along shorelines, and making sure we are respecting our surroundings by playing music at reasonable levels during the appropriate time of day and being mindful of the lyrics.
Okay, it looks like we're clear of any watercraft or swimmers in front of us, and we've got plenty of distance between us and the shore. So, who's ready to tube? Yeah, come on! But first we gotta go over some hand signals, so I'm gonna test you. What tells me you're ready?
Hit it.
Nice. Show me go faster. Show me go slower. Show me I'm okay. Good job. Show me stop. Show me Dad's the coolest guy on the water. Okay. I think you guys are ready. Hey guys, we don't want to have the music up too loud. A, I've got to be able to hear you guys and Mom in the boat, and B, we need to be respectful of anybody else on the water or who may live close. And that goes for lyrics too. I mean, you know I love my Michael Bolton cranked up to 11, but there's a proper time and place.
As the captain, it's your job to put yourself, your passengers, and your riders in the best possible location for you and others on the water based on what activity you'll be doing. We want to make sure we always wake responsibly. Drivers who want to minimize rough water for their riders should utilize a dog bone pattern, as long as there are a few other boats in the area and you refrain from multiple passes in front of the same shoreline. For patterns in a high traffic area, stick to a large racetrack pattern without any sudden turns so other boaters can anticipate your path. Depending on the type of water sport, adjustments might need to be made to speed, ballast, and line length. Factory installed systems allow you to safely add water weight and ideal spots on the boat and shape the wakes for each rider's preference. Keep in mind that for beginners, ballast is usually not necessary. Always stay within Coast Guard recommendations for your boat's weight capacity. Remember to empty the ballast system before trailering or hoisting your boat. A rope length of 65 feet is generally good for beginners who will appreciate being back where the wake is softer and further apart. Many riders start around 50 feet to make it easier to get up, while more experienced riders may want to be between 75 to 80 feet where the wakes are more defined and wider. Wake surfing speeds are relatively slow, usually staying between 10 to 11 miles per hour to create surfable waves without outrunning the surfer. Many boats come with set programming on ballast fill for specific surf variations. If your boat does not have this feature, it may take trial and error to find the perfect size and curl to surf. You also want to make an effort to have your surf side wave dispersing out into the water and not headed into the shoreline when possible. You want to start approximately 10 feet behind the platform to put you in the sweet spot of the wave. Make sure to use a rope designed for wake surfing with a smaller handle to prevent your head or arm falling through, and a thick braid which makes it easier to pull yourself into the sweet spot and has a smaller chance of wrapping around your hand than a thin rope. When your rider falls, your first responsibility is to make sure they are okay. The main signal for this is hands above the head from your rider, showing they are all good. You want to smoothly slow the boat down while staying in a straight line. This will send the wake dispersing out to the sides. If you were to power turn before slowing down, it could send large waves at your rider floating in the water or other people that aren't prepared for them, like small watercraft, swimmers, or even your own passengers, as turning around in the large waves could put your boat in a dangerous position with the possibility of passengers being thrown around and water coming into the boat. You want to be sure to keep the rider on the driver's side of the boat as you idle by them so the driver can see exactly where the person is in the water and communicate with them face to face. When picking up riders, you want to be sure to have the boat in neutral and in best practices shut off while people are getting in and out of the boat. This is how we do it on the water. A slight wave is a sign of mutual respect and understanding that we are all in this together. When on the water, respect is something we want to show to everyone. Whether it's picking a different ski path because fishermen were there first, making sure we aren't infringing on homeowners' shorelines with multiple passes or anchoring too close to their property and blasting music, or having patience at the boat ramp, respect is something that is free to give and hopefully something we get back in return. If for some reason a situation does escalate, it can be easily remedied with a simple apology and an effort to change the circumstances. At the end of the day, we all want the same thing, to have a great day on the water. After an amazing day on the water, it's time to load back up and head home. If you've been using ballast, the first thing you want to do is make sure to drain those tanks. This can be done early to make it easier to drive and maneuver the boat. When making your way to the boat ramp, you want to follow the same rules used in launching the boat. Pull back up to the dock or on shore to offload any people or gear that you don't want to stay on the boat. When it's your turn, move the truck and trailer into position and back down into the water slowly until 3/4 of the trailer is submerged. Slowly drive the boat onto the trailer and use the winch strap to hook the nose of the boat and crank it up into position. Once fully secure on the trailer, drive out of the water and into a spot out of the way to free up space for other trailers. Don't forget to send a text to your friend or family member assuring them that you have all returned safe from a great day on the water.